lecture. Today we will have to talk about Pinoy games, revisiting Filipino Indigenous Games. So last time we have played and tried to be young again, and definitely when you were 90s kids, and probably you're not because I am. And well, I guess upon my observation during the last time that we had an activity, I think you guys enjoyed, and you still know the things that I enjoyed before. And that these are the Pinoy games that we have had, like Chinese Garter, Patintero, Tumbang Preso. We definitely enjoyed them all. So why do we have to talk about Pinoy games or Philippine Indigenous Games? Well, basically because they are part of our culture and cultural heritage. How is it possible? So these would answer the question, why Indigenous Games? Because basically they reflect aspects of our culture and society. Local knowledge is actually transferred from one generation to another generation. So this is a good way to be able to have culture continuity. I think that's the keyword, cultural continuity or culture continuity. If that would stop, we cannot actually transfer or give something as a heritage to another generation. So elementary schools, secondary schools, these are places or spaces where we transfer this cultural heritage. And I hope you guys enjoyed these games. So here, local knowledge, social skills, rules making, and games that are all members of the group can enjoy fosters group solidarity and promotes social harmony. So we just not have to focus on the games, but we have to focus on the effects of it, and I think that would actually foster group solidarity. Group solidarity is seen as buklod in Tagalog, or that could actually be illustrated with the use of walis tingting. So cultural games could actually be the ring that binds the walis tingting. So that's how we use translanguaging for group solidarity. And also we have to promote social harmony. Social harmony is not really the absence of violence or differences, but it talks about how we sit down, how we unite, not really unite, but how we promote a common thinking, how we have consensus in spite of our differences. So that is more on social harmony. Japan is actually a good culture, for example, of social harmony, but there are small aspects of social harmony that can be seen throughout cultures. So these are photos, cartoons of Pinoy games. So I hope you enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed Tumbang Preso, and I'm not really that good now in Chinese Garter because basically I can't jump high. Sorry, Dr. Quack is good. Luksong Tinik, I guess it's good. Shato, I love it a lot because it involves math. We have to compute points and we have to catch it. It combines a lot of physical skills and abilities. So I love Shato. Songka, it's kind of boring, but we keep on counting and we just gonna wait who wins. So yeah. So I will be sending you a PDF on where did I got this one. So it's actually a research done in 2023. So several UP professors have conducted during the pandemic the effects of playing indigenous games when before the onset of internet, and that was 1980s until 1989. So they had tracked kids who played indigenous games and based their performance or made a correlation study of their performance, academic performance and success if they have played these games. So yeah, these are the ratings of most played games. So Langit Lupa ranks first, Taguan, Patintero, Tumbang Preso, and Chinese Garter, Pico. From number 4 to number 10, we have somewhat similar range, and that's about 80%. So Luksong Tinik, Luksong Baka, Agawan Bay, Sungka, Pico, these were actually the base games that most of us have played. And Shato ranks very, very low, 10%, but I really love it. Jolens and something else. Okay, next, because this is actually a short lecture. So what are some of the skills that we could get from playing indigenous games? So I have made just a short recap of this. It's actually holistic development. So if we talk about holistic development, it could be physical, cognitive, social, and socio-emotional development. These are all important skills. Playing e-games or e-sports is good. We could learn new skills digitally, and we can enjoy the animations, the effects, and graphics. but acquiring, getting outdoors, running, playing, touching dirt, playing with others, give us this social emotional development. So these are non-negotiable skills and traits that we also have to focus on and not to neglect. On the other side, playing games or indigenous games is a part of our heritage and culture preservation. So the most important thing, like I had mentioned before, is social and cultural continuity. We should not stop playing this, and this should be embedded in our curriculum design, in our activities, once we get into the classroom and become teachers. So yeah, so this is part of the exam. So yeah, I am telling you, be mindful of this. It's like a PE thing, but definitely it's part of it. So agility is 80%, running, takbuan, ano pa ba, habulan, definitely, or playing tag. Endurance, well, of course, playing dodgeball or something like hagisan ng bola takes a lot of endurance because you run from both sides or from both ends, and you just have to be quick and focus on the ball, whether you catch it or you just have to avoid getting hit. So yeah, that's how you have to do it. Speed, strength, flexibility, balance, reaction time. This is very important, reaction time, because it requires muscle memory and reflex. As we age, sometimes reaction time is very, very low to us. So we have to have reaction time, power, kinesthetic awareness, and muscle memory. Oh, okay. So if we talk about cognitive skills, these are the things that we could get from playing indigenous Filipino games, articulating thoughts or ideas. When we make rules, remembering, well, of course we have rules. So when somebody commit a mistake or error, we have to argue or talk about the rules that we have set before, so that we could decide whether this particular act is allowable or it's out of the game. Another is understanding, logical reasoning, reflexive thinking, creating, imagining, visualizing, problem solving skills, reading, decoding, writing, coding. All of these are very essential cognitive skills that we can acquire if we play games. Next, what are the ways to preserve our indigenous games? These are some of the things that I am aware of that we are currently doing, and inclusion in classroom games and activities like what I did. So yeah, I can always talk, we can and always talk about this one, making PowerPoint presentations, but the most important thing is re-experiencing how to play games. And I want you all to re-experience those games, basically because I want to put into your mind that these are not just games, but they could be activities, and you are teaching, other than the activity, real life skills that your students can use in their future as they grow up as grown adults. And we should not also confine ourselves in not playing these games, because, we can always be young at heart, and we can always be jolly and happy and sociable, and definitely we enjoyed the game, right? So I think that's the best way to teach indigenous games, and I hope you guys have enjoyed that activity that we had. Another is the government is actually conducting annual Laro ng Lahi events nationwide. So we have something like a sort of larong pambansa on indigenous games. So yeah, we had been institutionalizing ways to preserve cultural identities, and part of this is playing annual Laro ng Lahi games. And post-pandemic increased awareness on the importance of developing physical and social psychological skills of children. When kids were being locked up in their dorms, houses, condominiums, we have realized the bad effect of getting locked up indoors, and having access to open spaces and freedom to move, to play is very important to develop a balanced lifestyle, promote mental health awareness, and develop our physical strength. Another is the spread of researches providing that indigenous games are highly beneficial to children and potent cultural agents. When we say cultural agents, it's somehow, I'm using this term as, cultural agents. I'm using this term as an aspect of the culture that we have to preserve, an identity marker. Yeah. Okay, what about you guys? How can you promote and sustain indigenous Philippine games as a part of our intangible culture? The answer is yours. Yeah, the answers to these questions are endless. It only have to be, it only have to be reliant on your creativity. So, you are the next generation of teachers, and I take it by heart. I really encourage you guys not to forgo of these activities. Embed them into your design, into your ideas, and please, I saw in your faces how you have enjoyed them. I hope from next 10 to 20 years, I could still see people, Filipino kids, playing these games. By then, I would be a little bit older, but you guys would be then the next beacon of hope and light of Philippine culture, Philippine pop culture. I hope you continue what we have been doing and keep going. This will be part of the exam, so in the enumeration, I will be putting there ways to promote indigenous games. Okay, so it's all up to you. Inclusion in the classroom, playing it, whatever it is, like encouraging your kids, your nephews to play it outside or outdoors, are all correct. Anything or any answer is possible and correct without, in answering these questions. All right, so I will upload this lecture on YouTube. Please catch it up. Bye bye.